This video is to make sure that you understand what needs to be done in order to get full points on an MSP conclusion. Like I say in the instructions, writing this conclusion should be the easiest 2 points found on the MSP. There are always a few problems, multiple choice and short answer, that should be an automatic 100% correct, and that will again ensure that everybody passes the MSP in science. That's my goal. I hope that you didn't read any of the scenarios that you were given yesterday, either for procedures or for the conclusion, because remember, reading isn't what you need to do. You will not find the answers in the reading. Instead, you look at two things. You look at the pretty pictures and you look at the table. The table below shows basically what you're interested in. The very first thing in the title is going to be your manipulated. The very second thing is going to be responding. And as you go and do these, this is actually taken directly from the website that makes the MSP. So you will always see it this way. Here's where your lowest condition and lowest average is going to be found. Here's where your highest manipulated variable is going to be. Here's where your highest average is. And then all you have to do is write a conclusion. So let's take a little while and let's think about what it means to actually write a conclusion according to the MSP. So, 2 points. This statement up here is hard to understand for a lot of students. The idea behind any short answer is that you are showing that you can take information, given information, and apply it in some way, in some specific way. In terms of the conclusion, the template is actually very easy. And it's what's in parentheses underneath the example. So here's a 2-point regular student response. And I'd like you to underline the items that I am underlining right now as we're going through this. So, as the, put in your manipulated variable. Alright? As it increases, your responding variable, whatever it is going to do one of two things. It's going to increase or it's going to decrease. You aren't going to say it changed because that's obvious. You did a lab on it. You want to be as specific as possible. And voila, you get 1 point for that. When the manipulated variable, insert again every time it says manipulated variable or responding variable, and you want to here give the lowest setting of the manipulated variable. And then you're going to want to put in the responding variable and whatever it was. Now sometimes it can be low, sometimes it can be high. So you're putting in your manipulated variable, you're putting in a number for it. Don't just say X or anything like that. Here's a number. And then you put in your responding variable and you put in a number. And then you do the same thing, only this time you do it for the maximums, the highest numbers. Now each one of those is worth 1 point. So by just doing this, and just to make sure that you understand it, it is directly from the table. Just by doing that, you are guaranteed that 100%, because again, you can choose to not do one of these and still get full points. You want to do as much as possible, because if you make a mistake, there's a problem. Now, this part, the change in the X of the manipulated variable, it's the one that most people have trouble understanding what the heck they mean. Alright? And I want to make sure that you understand it. Here, I forgot. Let's underline these things. By the way, you should be doing the same thing on your sheet right now. You should be underlining those items that you need to change. And what you need to start thinking about as students, as individuals, is how are you going to remember these things? We'll get to this last part in just a very little bit. But now let's actually look at your conclusions. Let's either switch with a partner or keep your own. Follow the teacher's instructions on that. Alright, so now we come to an actual data sheet that you got. So hopefully you didn't read anything about this. Hopefully you don't have any of their predictions or anything like that. All we're dealing with is and the question that was posed to you was, can you create an equation? Can you create a conclusion from this? Well, hopefully you did, and we're going to go over this, and then for the rest of the class, you're either going to do another conclusion, you're going to look over your second conclusion and make sure that it's correct. We have some practice conclusions, or you can create again a practice procedure. If you need a practice procedure, I'll try and help you out, but mostly practice conclusions in the colored packets. And again, make sure to hand those colored packets in after you're done. I will be giving you potentially another practice quiz tomorrow, and I will grade it just like I am grading your procedures, and I will be returning those to you tomorrow as well. So let's begin this conclusion. Here we go. First we look at the numbers and we say 0 bends, 24 centimeters height. I actually didn't put that down. Sorry. Alright, so 0 bends 24 centimeters, 2 bends 12 centimeters. So as the number of bends increased from 0 to 2, the height of the sand decreased. So that's going to be the answer to the question. What is the effect of the number of bends on the height of the sand collected? So and again, we're going through the exact same format, and you just have to make sure to use this kind of language. You're using the manipulated and the responding, and you're making sure that you give some sort of idea like that. Now let's start to use numbers. When there were no bends, average height was 24 centimeters. When there were 2 bends, the average height of the sand was 12 centimeters. I'm just going to put sand height in here. If you just said average height, you probably weren't docked. But again, the point is you want to be as specific as possible. So I've just got my 3 points. Now, what they want you to do in order to get the 4th point, and you want to go for that, is you want to make sure that you know what these numbers mean. And all they're asking you is, so you went from 0 to 2, you went from 24 to 12, what does that mean? I am going to use, and I'm going to copy and paste this so that you know how to do this. It's the same statement, but now you're putting in the numbers. As the number of bands increased by 2, the height of the sand decreased by 12 centimeters. Voila! You have finished what they expect you to do for the conclusion on the MSP. Now I expect you to do a little bit more. I expect you to actually be able to use this somewhere. So that A4 work, alright, in order to get the A4, you want to be able to apply this to reality. So how could you use this information? I could use this information if I was interested in the amount of rocks that come down of a mountain after snow melts. In the snow melt, mudslides, the idea that by putting more bends you get less material, or that the rivers always stay deep enough for travel, or whatever you put down there, right? As long as it has an application, as long as you're saying, okay, I'm doing something about the number of bends and the amount of sand. Is the amount of sand a good thing or a bad thing? In terms of travel, it's a bad thing. In terms of snow melts, mudslides, it's a bad thing. Sometimes you might want to get material down. If you're interested, you can always talk about how New Orleans is sinking into the water because the Mississippi River is so different now than it was a while ago, and they're missing all of that sand. Whatever you do, however, you have to make sure that you have this minimal items down. Now, how many sentences was this? 4. And again, you don't want to burn out all of your brain on creating a conclusion if the test taker is just going to, if the test grader is just going to look at it and say, you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, 100%, 2 points, move on. Again, you want to do the short answers first. That's our first rule. And you want to make sure that you're not reading. That's our second rule. And now, when you're answering the question, do the work required, no more, no less. Thanks for listening. Now you get to practice doing the second one. Make sure that you're grading either yours or the partner's, and make sure that you're also writing down what they missed. And look to the back of this page for frequently incorrect answers. If you use words like changed, it's not going to tell how it increases or decreases. And please, 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 don't be one of those students that tries to just answer the question and give a reason why. They don't want you to do that. They want you to prove why by using evidence. And the evidence is right in front of you. All right. Have a good day, and good luck with the second one.